Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new session organized by the Global Supply Chain Council. My name is Max Henry, and I'm going to be your host and moderator for this new discussion, which promise to be exciting. We're going to talk about AI and Gen AI in supply chain. So we wanted to do a discussion on this. We've done different discussion in the past, but I wanted to get a sense of very practical feedback from people in the industry to clearly understand where we are today with this technology. There's been, of course, a lot of buzz, a lot of hype in the past 12 months about Gen AI and AI tools in general. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to hear, hopefully, very candid and very honest, experience from all our panelists today. Also, I want to remind all of you, if you're joining us from different part of APAC, Middle East, and also some of you are coming from Europe, that we want to make this discussion interactive. So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions at any time. There's a question mark button located at the bottom of your screen. You can click on it. It will open the live Q&A tab, and you can ask your questions at any time. We will prioritize those questions and take them as they come. This discussion is just going to be 55 minutes. Again, so if you're worried about missing your next call or event or a meeting at 5 o'clock Hong Kong, Singapore, no worries. We'll make sure to wrap up a few minutes before the end of the hour. So no worries here. So first, maybe we'll get started with having a quick round of introduction with our panelists. You've seen their names and their job titles. Maybe I'll get them to introduce themselves one by one. And maybe we'll start with women first. It's always great to have more women in this discussion. So we'll start with you, Nadia, and then Yuan after that.
Thank you so much, Max, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nadia Abbas, and I head the IT procurement for Asian Development Bank.
Thank you. Okay, Yuan, welcome.
Everyone, thanks for having me. This is Yuan Zheng, and I spent over 20 years in global procurement, including the recent 19 years in IKEA. I'm currently based in Switzerland, and technology is an unavoidable topic for us, so I'm super looking forward to exchange insight with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we're moving to Avinash, maybe? Go ahead, Avinash. Welcome here.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Henry. My name is Avinash Thakur. I have been in the industry for close to a little more than 2 decades now, handling supply chain and operation role, largely in the CPG, beauty care and personal care industry. Currently based out of India, working with a startup leading their supply chain here, and looking forward to this conversation around AI and technology.
Okay, great. We have Firoz also joining us. Welcome, Firoz. Go ahead, make sure to unmute you.
Thank you, Max. I'm Firoz, CSO of Delivery. Delivery is the largest logistics company here in India. Been with this company now almost 10 years plus. So, yeah, excited to be here to discuss things on how AI is shaping our growth path. Thank you.
Great to see you. We have Anya Ban as well joining us. Welcome. Go ahead, yeah. Make sure to unmute.
This is Anirban. I'm heading supply chain for Century Ply. 25 years plus with this industry, still learning and waiting for a good session ahead.
Thank you. We have Jim as well joining us from Singapore. Jim, go ahead. Make sure to unmute. Just click on the microphone. Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jim Lim. I'm based in Singapore. I work for a REIT data center real estate investment, Equinix, as well as consulting. I'm in the senior manager on global procurement for CAPEX, OPEX, and digital transformation, and also even the Gen AI initiative. So happy to hear from everyone. Thanks.
Okay, great. Good to have you. And then we have Sachin as well joining us. Welcome, Sachin. Go ahead, yeah.
Thank you, Max. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Sachin from Bangalore, India, working with AkzoNobel, leading supply chain analytics and design practice for AkzoNobel. Overall, 1.5 decades of experience into consulting, planning, and analytics, happy to be here and looking forward to next 1 hour. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So if you're again just joining us, we haven't started discussion. I want to remind everybody that this is going to be an interactive session. So if you have any question for any of the panelists or for the entire group, you can go ahead and click the question mark button. We will prioritize those questions as we get along through discussion. So maybe I'll start with something easy, and we'll start simple and just ask you or get your feedback on the type of AI tools that you guys are using on a daily basis. Maybe you are using ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, or the others, and what kind of tools are you using, and how do they actually, how do those tools are actually helping you in your day-to-day work? Yeah. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Max, Avinash, you want to go first?
No, go ahead, Nadia. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. So here we are using ChatGPT, Copilot, as well as in the bank we have developed something in-house, and which is collecting data internally. And we have made multiple sections. It's called ADB Genie, and it is for different departments in different limited spaces, and it is again going into its test phases. Some have launched and have advanced, and some are still testing and using it. So how it's helping on the procurement side, AI we are using more on automating, to start with, automating specific tasks, and especially automating the admin tasks, meeting notes, narratives, enhancing communication, and those are more of basic skills that we have. The other side we are using it is more from an analytics optimization, dashboard analytics. Either it's on the spend management or a task management, or forecasting, ability of forecasting the database items that we have. That helps us again. It collates and processes the information, of course, in a fast and accurate manner. And thirdly is on the performance insights, performance of the vendors, performance of the current teams on project implementation, and so forth. So we are using in two major directions. One are simple tasks, and other is more of an advanced kind of activities that we would like to do.
Okay, and then we'll come back to on those use cases which are more advanced with the pilots, Nadia, later on. For this specific question and for the others, just maybe stick to those Gen AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot for now, and then we can talk about the other things later on. Yeah, Anirban?
So basically, we are using ChatGPT to get kind of accuracy in the uncertainty, the data set, and to use the scenario planning. But again, it's very nascent stage. It is not very mature stage, and we are really watching the space to understand that what is the must-to-have thing which we should do. So we are at a very early stage.
Okay, yeah, Sachin?
I think what we did is we started our journey with Copilot and then moved to ChatGPT for a brief period of time, then back to Copilot. And what we have done internally is also kind of developed an in-source tool to take care of all the administrative tasks, helping with access, translations, meeting notes, as Nadia explained, very similar to that, so that we can automate routine tasks and give our resources more time to experiment on much more meaningful stuff.
Okay, yeah, Yuan?
A little bit my kind of a personal experience. I think AI Gen GPT is my kind of dear colleagues almost every day, and it's kind of my efficiency improver. Together with it, like searching some topic, I have a little idea, or maybe that's very important for me. So it helped me with the administration, as what Nadia said, and so yeah. Let's see what is more user case later in our panel. What will it look like? Thank you.
Okay, and you bring an interesting point about having ChatGPT as your best colleague or your best partner already. Avinash, yeah?
a very similar experience in terms of using ChatGPT. I think the other piece where I felt which at least I use more frequently is the Copilot in Excel. Helps in terms of quickly either pressure testing certain logics or summarizing stuff in Excel, which otherwise would have taken a lot more time. So that's interesting. The other tool which I have recently started using, which is more around whenever there's a certain amount of benchmarking, etc., competitive benchmarking that is needed. I have found Perplexity to be a very relevant tool. So a go-to tool from that context. So largely between ChatGPT, Copilot, and Perplexity is what I've at least so far been using.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Perplexity, another interesting tool. Nobody has mentioned Claude so far, so let's see. Firoz, yeah, or Jim, whether you guys are using.
Go ahead. I can always be the last one. Go ahead. Froze.
Fine, thank you. Well, it's been a very interesting journey. I mean, AI, ChatGPT is more like a fun tool. That's what it started with, and everybody just asks it some questions, and it gives pretty brilliant answers, pretty accurate, a lot of statistics, just sort of whatever you need, it's like available. So then the next step started that people started uploading some Excel sheets onto them, and then trying to make some predictions on how things are going to go forward and things like that. And that's when we realized, okay, so then this problem of the compliance will start, because we cannot be having everybody uploading whatever they want onto ChatGPT. So yeah, we have now gone for much more mature systems with much more designing of various tools. I'm sure we'll discuss that next. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Firoz. Yeah, Jim, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's a fire announcement. Please just ignore.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, very interestingly, within the organization, we have, because of data secrecy and data sovereignty, the company that I'm with actually worked on our own ChatGPT. So we have our own internal GPT. We call it the Equinix GPT, and it actually moderates for us and basically audits what you are sending into the GPT, because you may be sharing very confidential information or customers' information. Basically, it incorporates PDPA, data secrecy, etc., because we do work with a lot of government institutions and public sectors. So when you are sending questions to GPT, you don't want to put in your names, institution, company names, etc. So the GPT actually auto stops you from further researching into the GPT until you filter all the sensitive stuff. And similar, when it comes to the output, there is a restriction on what the GPT can produce, so that it censors out anything that is considered potentially fake or not data backed, right? So there's a lot of fact checks.
Okay, yeah, that is interesting. Okay, great. Okay, so it's good to get a kind of feel of what you guys are using. Let's talk about the use case now, because I know that you are going beyond and testing, new other tools and solutions beyond those, ChatGPT things. So, what kind of use case are you focusing on right now within your organization? And which one are you the most excited about within your own, again, team or organization at this point here?
Maybe
Anyone?
let me start the
Yeah,
ball
Jim.
rolling. So I think because there's created so much hype, right? With, in the past we just use a Google, or we just use a search engine, and then you get what you need to do. But today we call this the inference versus the so there's generative AI, and generative AI, you in a nutshell, you need to train, and you need to have your AI, your automated, or your intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence, to be trained. So there's a training part of it, and then there's the inferencing, which is the thinking part. So what we have done is we have put some small pool of money, and you can call it a capex or opex, and then we actually started different types of AI agents, and we have an agent for procurement, we have an agent for finance. So we have many agents provided that we remember which agent does what. So we have a tender board agent that does procurement. So we nickname them tender agent. We have an agent that's for Salesforce. So we create various agents. But most important, I think there's certain ROI or certain outputs that we want to measure so that whatever we have invested in needs to be measured. So I guess in a nutshell, what I'm sharing is that even if you put together a task force or a small team or a small pocket of investment or money, dollars and cents into AI, it's just the starting point. So where does that journey go to, and where does the journey seem to be diversing or converging? You need to be very aware that data sovereignty is it's quite important, and compliance, but more important also that what you put into the GPT, it needs to be not just validated, but it needs to produce something that's meaningful. So, for example, if you write today, this is what I want you to do, GPT, and then they come out the results. You need to filter and check what the results are so that it's relevant to you and not take it wholesale.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Jim. You still have a fire on your building, but just be careful. Make sure it's real. It's not an AI.
It's an AI that's telling me it's a fake one, so it's okay, no
Okay,
problem.
all right.
Yeah, it's a fake one. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Sachin, yeah, what kind of use case or first pilots are you doing right now? Yeah.
Sure. So I think we used a tool which is a network design tool, and we are kind of end users of this particular application. So when we typically run a network design use cases and ask the question to the mood model, right? What is the right location for opening a new facility? Earlier, we used to get a certain locations, and then we used to stop and then share the results with the logistics sourcing to find out what is the number of people living on those localities, what is the best logistics providers, and so on and so forth. So now what has really happened is with the integration of AI into the tool that we use, uh, the output of the tool doesn't stop at the number of facilities that we get, right? We also get the output as the number of people staying in those locality. So we get an answers to what is the availability of workforce in those regions, right? The next step is now the tool is kind of very well integrated with the logistics service providers like the likes of DHLs, Kundanagals, and so on and so forth. So we know what is the availability of logistics providers in those regions, right? The next step is we also get to know what is the utilization of those warehouses in those regions. That gives us a rough estimation of the demand that we may expect uh, in those regions. So what used to be a work for a logistics sourcing team few months back, now that has been completely adopted and integrated into a solution that we kind of develop. Uh, this is one of the use cases that we rely heavily on while venturing into new regions. There are few more use cases, but I'll take a pause and hear everyone's feedback. Then I can pitch in later part.
Okay, this is exciting. Yeah, you're probably saving weeks and months of work by having such a solution. Yeah, interesting. And yeah, but yeah.
The scenario planning. So actually, what Sachin is doing, we are doing almost a similar kind of simulation because it helps. And also, what we are doing, we are checking the freight benchmarking. So when a point A to point B of particular a new lane is coming, because the lanes is the offshoot of your renetworking. So when the lanes are coming, so we are using the AI to uh, do a kind of initial freight costing that what should be the cost for these lanes, and we are checking with our service providers, and it gives kind of a fair bit of idea that how far we are. So it's giving a pretty decent result.
Okay, Avinash.
Yeah. So, in fact, within the org, there are two routes, especially on the function, within supply chain. There are two routes that we're taking. One is how do we make some of our repetitive tasks a little more automated? So, for example, we do a lot of invoice reconciliation. Now, how can that, be picked up by agentic AIs and some of those activities being automated? So that is one route which is about identifying low hanging fruits where we can quickly build in efficiencies by automating stuff, by creating agents which can do this. So that's one route that's happening, and there are two or three specific use cases that has been picked up. The second area that we have picked up, and which is very early in its stage, but trying to work where, so for planners, the demand planners, the forecast planners in our setup, how do we, rather than automating stuff, focusing only on automating stuff, how do we help them to think better? And where what we are using is certain, so there are one or two such use cases where can the AI suggest certain short-term predictions or changes in the swing? So while there is a cycle on forecasting that we run, which is typically a fortnightly or monthly cycle, but then there are so many changes that happens in between. Classic example, ours is a category which plays a lot on seasonal products. So we do have products which have very high seasonality in certain certain categories, and if there are changes in the external factors, that those demand sensed inputs can give us quick 1 week 2 weeks advantage when it comes to changing either our deployment strategy, procurement strategy, etc. So that's something that at this stage we're trying to work with our planners to see if we can enable them to give them those alerts which helps them to think better rather than just automating stuff. So those are the two routes that we have taken so far, but pretty early on both of these routes, and we expect a lot more use cases to be tested as we go along.
Interesting, yeah. Who else? Firoz or Yuan or Nadia? Maybe we'll come back to you on Nadia as well on what you mentioned earlier. Yeah, Firoz, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just take it back to the supply chain evolution which has happened. I mean, long time back, there used to be a farmer who farmed the goods, and then he'll take it on a cattle cart or a horseback or a donkey cart or a bullock cart to the market and sell it. So that's how 1PL is there. So that moved on to 2PL. We'll fast forward it 2PL, 3PL. So we were at a time of, we were called as 3PL logistics players, and there's 4PL and 5PL now. So, I mean, the whole logistics thing has really changed. The scenario itself has changed. So that's where the role of AI is really critical in being able to do it efficiently and being able to give value add to the customers that we have. Whether it is using where Gemini AI for the email, whether it's using AWS Bedrock for designing various kinds of tools. Because what we realized along the way that, I mean, ChatGPT is just for the fun sake. I mean, if you want to really get serious into it, then you will have to use multiple large language models and MLM and things like that, which you could, I mean, take it from AWS Bedrock sort of thing, and then develop it and then use it for specific use cases, whether it is like RTO returns prediction, whether it is reverse pickup. And that's what we've done, is basically taken different operational steps in logistics, whether it's e-commerce or partial truckload or full truckload, and then try to think as to what would be the pain points which are currently not being addressed using the standard tools of manually looking at things, and to be able to get much faster, much better results, and thereby finally having lesser loss and damage and such other issues. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. Yuan, yeah, go
Yes,
ahead. Yeah.
thanks for sharing. It's very exciting to hear the use cases. When I was leading global ocean transport in IKEA back 2020, those time, we have tried at least to develop the tools for increasing the visibility, shipment visibility globally, and also predictability for what is the disruption might come. And I have to say the journey has been fascinating for all of us, and we had some development, but somehow we couldn't scale it with the trusted outcome that this system could give. And I think this is still kind of a big challenges for the big size supply chain set up. For having some tools probably regionally and help certain work, but scale to the significant scope, that's still a very big topic up to now. So yeah, that's a bit like my reflection. Yeah, so the AI will help for the monitoring, but bring the significant impact to the global supply chain setup is still a big topic to solve.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Nadia, let's go back to some of the use case that you mentioned earlier. Yeah, if you could just get
Sure.
a bit more details. Yeah.
Sure. So again, as and very interesting to hear everyone's use cases, and then you can and then it plugs in. Okay, what can be done on our side as well. So what we have done first of all was other than the automating the admin tasks and the narratives and the enhanced communication is information management. And as procurement function, the first thing is we are at the first line. User requests keep on coming. How do we do this? How much time it will take? What is the threshold? Etc. etc. For all procurement needs that there. How much timeline it's going to take. So we have a policy, that is a principle-based policy, and then what we have developed is a playbook. And playbook is kind of around 70-80 slides, which has the best practices even, and the thresholds and whatever, how much time it will take to do this kind of procurement and that kind of procurement. So very simple but very quick wins. So what we have done is we have put it into the platform of the ADB Genie and the knowledge navigator, as you may say. It's an AI platform which ADB has developed, and 85% of the questions are solved by the AI, and we have put it on the intranet of ADB, and all those questions are coming. If you see the optimization and the efficiency that we have achieved, we are very happy because all those were email communications coming in or people walking into the offices, and these are very small wins, but this has optimized the time for the team to focus on the other sourcing, sourcing of the sourcing or the non-sourcing activities that we do. So we have taken the first stand on the information management, and it has come very well. The second use case is the dashboard management, which means we have a monitoring and we have a tracking to be done for all the procurements that are ongoing. At the same time, it can be 150 procurements that are ongoing. We are sharing the dashboard with the clients, and we are able in the moment of I think number of clicks, and within 30 to 40 minutes we are able to provide the data. Which budget is it coming from? What is the category? What is the sourcing method that has been used? What is the cost? What was the negotiated savings? What were the SLAs? All of that is at a one click ahead. Earlier we used to have to massage data no matter how good it was in the system, and this is, yeah, it is coming from an Excel, if you may want to say. We have a system, a very good e-procurement system that we are working on. It generates reports, and that is all good, but of course everything comes with pros and cons. The systems do not have a start and stop button on each stage of procurement, but this data, that the dashboard that we have built in, it has all that kind of data, and it can provide us a lot of quick reports and a value adds. So efficiency that we are achieving from these areas. A third case, very interesting one, is that we are working on a responsible AI framework, and that is bank wide. How to use the AI tools responsibly, which kind of information internally that you need. And we are working with all stakeholders of the bank, and of course it's a very comprehensive exercise. We are at its initial stages. What the legal team says, what does the documentation team says, how do we produce an AI, and how to use the AI product, how we want to use externally, and how are we going to bring the awareness. We can, and we are doing internal communications, we can pick it up from the Copilot, from ChatGPT, and we can do it internally. But for externally, we are preparing something called as responsible AI framework. So we are at the testing stages of that one. But just wanted to share with my the fellow colleagues here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nadia. Okay, great. Good start and nice way to understand what you guys are doing. We have some questions already coming in, and so let me take them, and you guys can look at them by just clicking on the question mark and opening the Q&A tab. Maybe let's start with this question. It's a question from Yanisa who's asking, so do you use any automation tools? If you do, how different it is from AI? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You guys probably have used automation tools in the past few years. So what's different now with AI versus automation? Yeah. Anybody would like to take this? Yeah, Firoz, yeah.
Yeah, let me take it. See, I mean, like we do a couple of million packages every day. So you have to have automation tools to do various tasks to deflect various questions or to deflect. I mean, a packet has to be routed, misrouted. I mean, it has to go on a particular truck. It has to go on a particular motorcycle to a particular address. And so there are various tools which we were using earlier. Now, what is different now with the generative AI coming in? You see, we have a lot of data which is there of the how the millions of packets which were processed earlier, based on the size, based on the pickup center, on the delivery center, based on the type of truck used, the type of route used, as to the how much time it probably took. Now, with the help of AI, one can, the moment you have some different types of questions about a particular packet's transition timing or the best possible route and things like that, AI is able to judge on it, and thereby it's able to give you a much better response. So that's the difference between earlier automation tools and the generative AI responses which we get now from the system. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. Anybody else would like to comment on this question? Feel free to, yeah, Yuan, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Yanisa. And I think the difference in my experience is like AI is able to getting smarter, over time, other than the automation tools in the past. Yeah, so it learns like a human brain in a certain way, right? And it can process super like unstructured data. So we don't have to feed to the automation tools like structured data already from Excel, but AI could process very unstructured data to produce a report. But AI also some could give you like a prediction from the data they are having in case they know the business very well from the getting smarter part. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Avinash, you wanted to add something? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and like Firoz was saying, right, within supply chains, there are, in our case, for example, there are a couple of cases where we have had automation. A classic example would be certain RPAs that we had in terms of automating activities within our ERP system, which could be very, very repetitive. But and those were built on very standard logics and design. What AI has done, and there's one use case that we have tested is to make those automations a lot more efficient. So what it means is, let's say, if there is a logic that's defined, but it is only scoped out for a certain certain area, but then if those parameters within that scope changes, the RPAs normally don't work. You'll have to redo that logic, put in a new RPA, etc. But with AI, what happens is it works on those changing parameters, logics, etc., and then recalibrates how should that RPA work. So that's one kind of a shift that we have seen, and again, early on in certain testing stages. But we see AI enhancing some of the existing automations and the efficiency of the kind of output that we get from them.
Okay, makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next question. So this is from a question from Shane's asking, what kind of data do you need before rolling out any AI pilots? You say we don't have clean data and lots of silos with systems. Yeah. Yeah, Nadia.
All right. Thanks for the question, Shane. I would give an example of garbage in and garbage out. So our own information and our own data has to be cleaned. It has to be well thought before we give it to AI to interpret. So all the elements, for example, if we are doing or collecting data on the ESG, so there are multiple criteria. Is it a woman based? How efficient was it to produce it? From where is it coming? Which region? Which location? Whatever, all of this data has to be clean in there before we extract any kind of a, of course, an automated, either an automated report out of it, or we put an AI on top of it to interpret it or to analyze it for us to understand. It's all about, again, I'll repeat the same. It's more garbage in, garbage out. So if we are not going to put our data in the proper order, even to a level that in an Excel sheet we have given the titles which can be interpreted differently, it's not going to interpret it correctly for you. So it
And
has to be very well cleaned up. And we don't
did
have
you
a
actually, sorry, Nadia, did you actually use AI to help you to clean data? Can you actually do this? Can you use AI to clean database?
I've used it to point it out. I have used it
Yeah.
so that it can be identified, that which portion of the information is there and which is not there. For
Okay.
example, in annual institutional procurement plan, and we can say it is on an Excel, which budget is it coming from, which quarter it's going to be sourced in, what is the value, how many vendors are we looking at, all of that. It can point out these XYZ or hundreds of line items are missing the commodity codes, these numbers are missing the values, these many are TBD. So a wide variety. So yes, that
Yeah.
interpretation we have been able to get. And silo systems, and the second part of the question, we don't have clean data and lots of silos with the systems. No, the house has to be in order to make sure that we are getting data from multiple systems. It is integrated in the right manner.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Sachin.
Think, Max, I was about to cover a point which you actually highlighted, that actually we have used AI to clean the system or clean the data before giving as an input to the prediction tool. So let's say in a typical demand planning setup, we make the data continuous, right? Which is a lot of manual steps that we did with the help of AI. The second one was the promotional activities that we do to uplift the sale. That has also been done with the help of the AI. And the third one was like treating anomalies, removing the outliers, and so on. So what goes as an input to the data modeling or a data prediction, that entire steps have been automated with the help of AI. So to answer Shane's question, even if you don't have a clean data, you can use AI to clean the data and then use the prediction models. That will be a two-step approach rather than a one, but definitely you can start small and then like kind of replicate the models or build the models on top of what you did in a pilot phase.
Okay. Interesting. And Yaban?
She already talked about the basics. So the RDBMS model, we all worked in RDBMS, so we understand the importance of the table formation of the data. I think that is something which we adopt and which helped us. And yes, there will be the data clean is needed, and we do kind of a mix and match. So basically, we have we still believe in RDBMS, and we work with the data which is already kind of a decently cleaned and coming from hardware. So that is our approach.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Yuan, you wanted to add something? Yeah.
Well, I think it's a lot of things well said already by my fellow panelists. And I would say, Shen, it's a very normal situation that your business is having. 99% of the business who start this journey and realize they have no clean data and lots of silo system, and we have the same journey. I mean, I couldn't believe that in the beginning. But I would say it's an interactive journey, I would say. So it's not like the version of the clean data one day is ready for the AI thing. So it will be a journey to start with a cleaner, a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more cleaner, and also let the AI tools to learn and also co-create the structure and data and result. And I would say the stress level from the implement, let's say, dry leader of this transformation, but also the senior decision makers in the company needs to have that expectation set in the beginning from the start. And also, I would say really stretch the level of tolerance of the errors from the management, yeah, because otherwise it will definitely, make the journey very, very hard, yeah, because we're embracing something really new and nobody knows how to do it from the decades in the past. So that's a bit like mindset and also attitude that we need, and even behavior, right, from especially the management decision makers. So that will give the chance to let the work to start and in a continuous way.
Okay, thank you. We have more questions. Again, if you want to ask any question, feel free to type your question in the Q&A tab right now. Let's move on to the next one. Someone is asking, has anyone used GenAI for suppliers interaction? For example, onboarding, contract review, this kind of thing. Yeah. Please raise your hand so this way I know who want to comment and say something. Yeah. Yeah, Jim, you're back. Yeah. You're
Sorry
still
about that.
alive.
I'm still
Okay,
alive.
no
There
problem.
was a fire and I'm still alive. So I think the question that you were discussing is how do we use Gen AI in terms of supplier performance review or KPI or risk
Onboarding,
analysis?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I have done two things in so-called AI. One is we use one particular AI to analyze and kind of, so the first AI was used to take out all the analysis when we are doing the technical and commercial review. So when you have two or three company suppliers provide you a quote, you need to check the technical review. So after the technical review is submitted to us, we put them into an Excel worksheet, and then we use the first AI to generate their analysis, right? So we ask them to rank, to give feedback, pros and cons, what is the upside or downside. Then we take all the comments, we filter them, then we put it into another worksheet. That means now there's two worksheets. First is the evaluation, second is the first analysis, and then we throw it to the second AI. So we are literally taking one AI to compete against another AI. So that's one possible way of maximizing the AI. Then the second thing that we do in the inferencing part and the thinking part is sometimes we are very objective in the way we do our analysis of the RFQ, RFP bids. What we can do with the AI is actually to ask them to think about as objective or as subjective as possible, put an element of things like when it's because all you are asking AI is the AI is absorbing based on your question. So you need to make sure that your question is accurate and the question is short and pointed. So don't overload the AI. Give them very straightforward. And the second thing I learned is when you are asking the AI questions about who is a better AI, it becomes not fact based because when you say who is better, it is very subjective. So you need to tell the AI like this guy has give them the scenario. This guy, the background, he has 16 shipments and 10 has been met exceeded expectation. 5 just met on time. 1 completely went missing. right? And then you need to kind of give them some information on what is the meaning of missing. All right. So you need to be very objective, and you cannot have an element of just give me an answer, because if your mindset and your thinking when you are using the AI versus the other AI, or you're just using a single AI to do inferencing, which is thinking and analytics and all that, you need to make sure that you are keying in correct questions and analysis.
Hmm. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Anyaban?
We are using a small capsule as of in recent past we started. For example, our vehicle placement. So in case there is a delay, automatically a trigger is going to that our channel partners that there is a delay in vehicle placement, or in case the vehicle is going off route, that is also a alert is going to the respective people. We are using a small pilot for last 3-4 months. It is giving us good result actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. If no one else wants to add, let's move on to the next question. Question from Alain was asking, so what is the biggest challenge in terms of data quality before using AI, forecasting, inventory, transport, etc.? Biggest challenge, yeah. Anyone? Firoz?
Yeah, sure. See, I mean, the data will never be perfect. If we are thinking of perfect data, then there would be we would just be able to use automation tools and be able to manage it. So the beauty of AI, generative AI, is that with an imperfect data, even with unstructured data, it will try to find out the best possible fits and give you some options. Now, moment you have some options, then you could further think over it and take the right decision. So I guess as far as the challenge of data quality is concerned, it will keep continuing because there will always be situations which you are caught off guard or caught by surprise. I mean, you just take the tariffs example. Nobody knew what tariffs will be applied to whom, etc., and how the goods have to move. Whether you should buy the seeds from one country or whether you should buy the fresh produce from the other country. So I mean, these sorts of situations will be there. So the AI helps you. It's like a tool which is helping you taking the right decision by analyzing much more data, which a human being or an Excel you can possibly fit it out and put logic and try to get answers using a set of rules. So it can go beyond that and help you out. So that's how I would look at it.
Okay, Sachin? Anyaban?
Yeah, I have to support what Firoz is talking. That data is always there is a challenge, and it's not before AI or after AI. For us, we after the AI, we are getting a help to clean the data. Earlier also, we had to clean the data, so that manual task or that different multiple using of tool had been perhaps is coming down, and the process of data cleaning, I think, the time is taking less because there will be challenges with the data and single source of truth is always the challenge. But I think the processing is now is a faster. That is my submission of cleaning the data.
Okay, Sachin? Avinash, and then you and after, yeah.
I completely echo with what Anirban and Firoz said. I think the data will always remain a challenge, but I think let's that not be a blocker for all the AI kind of implementation, because in the perfect world or near perfect world, right, there will always be the changes which will come along. So uh, better to start small, at least pick up use cases where we can show some impact using minimal investments, and then touch upon those aspects, because data quality due to mergers, acquisitions, system integrations will continue to remain challenge even in the near future.
Okay, Avinash?
It's absolutely very similar point, but just to add, so one, I think with AI, the challenge of data is coming down, which means earlier cleaning data would have taken a lot more time. Ensuring that the data quality has to be very, very high for it to be consumed was very critical earlier. Now AI can plug some of those gaps in. I think the key challenge or the key area to be addressed is to set the right context and the prompts for AI to be able to work with that kind of a unstructured data. So it's not as much a challenge that what's the quality of data, as much as if the prompts and the inputs to AI is right enough, or the context is rightly set on how to work with that kind of a data. Right. So while the data quality can remain what it is earlier versus now, with AI, the consumption of that data becomes easier, but only if that the prompts and contexts are rightly put in.
Okay, Yuan, quickly, and we have 5 more minutes before we wrap up here.
Yeah, I think it depends. So I would suggest that you observe your business at the moment. Which part of the day, which area of the data they are more collected or reflected through the manual process, or according to personal memory or capability. That in that sense, those areas might be the biggest challenge in terms of data quality for adapting AI. So in different business must have different answer for your questions, but that would be my suggestion to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We have a few more questions, but I think some of us questions have been kind of answered already by you. I want to go back to some of the questions that we had prepared because I think there were some interesting ones that we missed. And maybe just to kind of wrap up because we only have a few minutes. So, in your view today, if we had to summarize in one sentence, in your personal view, would you say that AI or Gen AI in supply chain is more than a hype or really a game changer? And keeping in mind also that and this is something we're talking already that AI might eventually replace human jobs might be lost in the coming future. So, what's your take on this? And maybe we'll start with you, Nadia.
All right, thanks, Max. AI is definitely a game changer, driving efficiency, effectiveness, and excellence across the supply chain. So, to answer it very clearly, and the question which says that AI is going to change or replace the humans, it's a myth. It does not work like that. We are, as humans have a value add. We are the ones who are preparing the AI. Those consultative, those emotional pieces, the human intelligence is not the match. So what we are trying to do is by embracing the AI is trying to bring efficiency in the work we do and optimize what we are doing. So I'm
Okay,
very
all right.
mindful of time. Thank you.
You sound very confident about the job loss thing. Feel free to disagree, Sachin. Yeah.
On the first point, it is definitely a game changer. But since it covers only one end of the golden triangle, we still have people and processes to look after to make these successful implementations of these AI applications, right? And to answer your question in terms of will it affect the human jobs, I think to a certain extent, yes. And to a certain extent, the expectations of the roles will also evolve in the near future, where humans are supposed to do have a different kind of skill sets. Plus, their roles will be more around narrating the story, making more conversational skills, influential skills, decision making skills, where AI can aid in making those decisions.
Okay, all right. Anyaban, hype, game changer, and job loss. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a game changer. Uh, so for me, the job loss is not going to have a job loss risk for the people who will educate themselves. So there will be paradigm shift in terms of informative individuals or skillful individuals. So there will be a set of people who will know AI and who will use better AI. So there will be new job will be created. At the same time, maybe at the bottom there will be few job loss. Yes, it is possible. Possible.
Okay, thank you. Avinash, Yuan, I'm just going to ask everyone to respond to it. Avinash, yeah.
Yeah. So one, I think clearly, as a capability, as an intent, AI is a game changer. But when it comes to execution, I think still it needs to prove itself when it comes to the entire execution and in the context that we were talking about. So there, and the way I see is there is still a gap. The gap's getting closed fast and fast enough, but there is a gap in terms of the whole AI's application and execution. And there is that a game changer or not? Only time would tell us. On the jobs impact, I think AI is the whole technology revolution that AI is bringing in is not nothing that we have seen in the past clearly, and I'm sure it's going to have significant impacts on the jobs, but would be a function of the nature of the job. So there would be certain jobs that would get impacted as we speak. In fact, there are impacts that we are seeing around consulting, around technology specific jobs, etc. But what it also means, and I completely agree with Sachin, there would be skill sets that would evolve, which would enable people to do jobs which AI cannot replicate, right? So some of these changes would happen. How quick, how it's anybody can debate that, but clearly going to have an impact on the jobs for sure.
Okay, Yuan, in just 20 seconds, what's your take? Firoz and Jim as well, and then we can wrap up.
Game changer, yes. I would say game changer, and change is happening. So I would say business must find a way to anticipate this change, this journey. And for us individually, it's an upscaling process. It just have another skill to know and to master. So, and yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. Jim, Firoz?
See, AI is definitely there. Anybody who does not embrace it is likely to be redundant. So that's as far as we are concerned. I mean, if we do not join it and go along with it, chances of redundancy is definitely there. The other part is that the kind of opportunities it's giving to focus on real world problems and move out a lot of the routine tasks from our work roles. That's the kind of benefit it's giving. Thank you.
Okay, Jim, your final thought?
Yeah, I'm still alive. So I think that where we are right now is just the tip of the iceberg, because if you look at all the cartoons and movies and Terminators and all that, it started from computer, right? Trying to help us and make our work life and our workload easier. So today, this seemingly AI is not going to replace human beings because it's not able to empathize, it doesn't have emotions. But what it probably is going to do is going to make us a better world, and probably allow us to hold the supply chain or hold anything that you do, whether finance, politics, etc., better, because it has accelerated thinking. It has improved the way we hold our facts, right? So the AI is able to check, probably do the fact check for us. The AI is able to do some of those mundane stuff like data cleaning, getting things in order before we can do the analysis. So I think it's a give and take. AI is going to be important, but how do you use it and how do you deliver value? Because every company is going to be on sooner or later the same platform. Right now, some companies are on a faster platform because they're learning how to adapt and use AI. Some companies have not yet even think about where is AI going to fit into our strategy. So there will be a point where AI is saturated, and that's the next thing.
Thank you very much, Jim. Okay, with those final thoughts, I made a promise to release you before the end of the hour. So one more minute. Thank you very much for the discussion. Thanks all of you for joining. Thanks for the question. We'll probably do another discussion on this topic. So we look forward again at our next event. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.